Welcome back to my channel. Nasty that on that. The makeup looks good. Stop stealing. Hey sis, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about like how my body responded after I gave up meat and dairy. I always say, give like bits and pieces in my videos, letting you guys know that it was a good thing for me once I gave it up, but I never really go into detail about it. Excuse how I look. I have on pajamas because I've been stuck in the house since Tuesday, but I wanted to take this time out while I had a moment to give you guys like these little bits and pieces of my experience after giving up meat and dairy. And I put the notes in my phone so that I don't forget anything, and I hope I didn't forget to put anything in these notes. I'm gonna make it quick and simple and get straight to the point. So the first thing I did notice was I could tell that my body, it started to like rebuild. It was like it was rebuilding, like restarting, repairing itself or whatever, because I started to notice that things in the past that I had dealt with, it was like they slowly started to, not slowly, like they literally stopped. So I'm not gonna say slowly. Like one day it would be months later, and then I wake up and be like, oh, I haven't had this issue since I stopped eating meat and dairy, or this haven't happened since I stopped eating meat and dairy. So it was like I noticed like my body completely restarted. It's almost like my blood was cleansed, like everything was changing, and I started to reap the benefits of it, of course, in my body. And it took me a while to notice these things, but once I sat down, it was like it was like my body literally restarted itself. I felt different. I had more energy. My digestion changed. Like, it's crazy. But I'm going to stick to my notes so that I'll stay on track. So that was my number one. My number two and number three is more energy and better digestion. I noticed that I had more energy. Like, I live a really, really busy life. And I know most of us do. But like getting up at 5:30, going to the gym, then going straight to work after that. And then some nights I have lash appointments, and then having to do my nightly routine of everything that I have to do to get ready for the next day. I don't get into bed till really late. So I'm literally up and on my feet from 5 a.m. until like 10 o'clock at night most of the times. When I'm finally able to sit down, it's like, oh, I still have to eat or whatever, because I've been doing all of these different things during the day. But I never really felt tired doing it. At this point, I feel tired because I haven't been off work, like just to be off, since last year. So it's like, okay, my body is finally catching up with to me. And it takes months and months and months for me to get there. And it's because like I'm pretty much wearing myself out or whatever. And so like my number three is better digestion. Oh my God. The way your body processes food and pushes things out and everything that it's supposed to do once you give up meat and dairy, it's like having that. First of all, we know red meat, it takes a while for red meat to process in our bodies anyway. But when you're like eating meat and dairy products, it's like you constantly feel bloat. Your body pretty much tells you like this is not something that you should be consuming, or either something you should be consuming like on a regular basis, because your body isn't breaking it down or digesting it the way that it should. When you're dealing with bloat and all of those different things, bloat, acne, being tired, like all of those different things come into play with the foods that you eat. Dairy can contribute to all of those things. Red meat can contribute to all of those things. And when you give them up, and that's why I always say give it up for like a month, a few weeks to a month, you will see that all of those things change in you once you let those things go. If you're not going to the bathroom regularly, then there's a problem. And then everything goes back to food. Problems go back to food. What you're missing goes back to food. No energy goes back to food. Acne goes back to, everything goes back to food. Illnesses, all of these things go back to what we eat. My body has literally revamped itself since I stopped eating meat and dairy. It's crazy. So if you're having like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all of those different things, if you're having those problems, I guarantee you, if you change your lifestyle and the way you eat, give up meat and dairy, I guarantee you those things will go away. And you probably think they just won't go away. They literally will go away. You'll find yourself not needing the medicines that you've probably been taking all of this time, because your food is your medicine. The stuff that we put in our bodies, meat and dairy and all of these different things, they're trash. And they are the reason why you have the illnesses that you have. So once you let go of those foods, over time, and it's not going to take a long time. That's the great thing about food. It is not going to take a long time for you to see the results from it. It's like your body will reward you, because it's like, wow, they finally stopped putting that trash in me. These are the things that they're giving me, and these are the things that I need. So I'm going to reward them by repairing this. I'm going to reward them by fixing this. I'm going to reward them by leveling out their pressure. I'm going to look like whatever the case. I'm telling you guys, it will change your life so much, like in the most positive way. You really will reap the benefits from not eating those things. The second thing, the number 4 on my list is, I used to, the job that I was at, the job that I worked before the job that I have now, the job that I have before the job that I have now, every single day I used to have to take allergy medicine for years. Every single day. I used to always say, oh my God, the vents in this place need to be cleaned out. Like, my allergies flared up every single morning after I got there. But when I would leave, I would be perfectly fine. I would be perfectly fine at home. It was only when I was in that place that my allergies were like absolutely insane. So I was just like, okay, it's just the place in here, it's dusty, all of this different stuff in here. That's what I used to chop it up to. So I took those allergy pills every morning like clockwork, because without them, I was miserable. It was almost like I could barely focus at work, because I was focused on all of this mucus and everything that was going on with my allergies. Well, I left that job, and then go back. And I also, another thing that used to happen to me also, I used to wake up very often with swellings. Like, I would wake up and my eye would be swole, one eye would be swole, this eye would be swole, sometimes both eyes would be swole, or I would wake up and my lips would be swollen. And like, so of course everybody was like, well, what are you eating that makes you swell up? And I'm like, nothing. I've kind of always ate the same way my entire life. Like, I would eat the same stuff over and over again. Like, I didn't try a lot of different foods. I never had an allergy to anything growing up, so I would pretty much eat whatever I wanted to eat. But I would randomly wake up with something on my face swollen for absolutely no reason, and then half a day it would go down. And I couldn't take Benadryl, because most of the time I would have to go to work, and I was going to work like that. One day my eye was super swollen. I was like, I'm not going to work with my eye. It was huge. I was like, I'm not going to work with my eye like that. So I called in, because I was like, this is freaking ridiculous. But I never could figure out what it is. Doctors were like, you aren't allergic to anything. Like, we don't know what is causing this. Nothing has changed in your diet. Like, nobody knew what was going on. I didn't realize until after months, it was probably like a year of me not eating meat and dairy, I realized that I haven't swollen up, and this was happening all the time, at least once or twice a month. And I was like, oh my God, I have not had a swelling episode in like a year or so, because it took me a long time to realize it. And here it is, since 2017, I still to this day have not had any swelling happen. Now I know for sure, whatever I was eating, it was something I was eating. So it was either the meat that I was eating or the dairy that I was eating that I had an allergy to. And my body was paying me back by swelling up. It's like it happened almost like once a week. And I didn't know at the time what was causing it until I stopped eating meat and dairy. And here it is, years later, I still have not had an episode. And I didn't realize that until after stopping or whatever. So like, it took all of this time. I didn't know when I was still eating it that dairy produces a lot of mucus. So me dealing with all of that, eyes, nose, sneezing, like it was like everything liquid in my head or in my body wanted to drain down every single time I was at work. I was miserable. And I was eating cheese, drinking milk, ice cream, all of these different things. So I was constantly producing mucus daily because I was eating or drinking these things daily, not realizing dairy produces mucus. So I was pretty much creating my own problem. It was just like a circle effect, like constantly. You're eating it, creating it, eating it, creating it, eating it, creating it. And it kicked my tail every single day. I didn't put two and two together because I wasn't aware at the time. And let's see, number 5 on my list is acne. People don't realize that acne can also be caused by meat and dairy consumption or whatever. Now mind you, I went my entire life not having any issues with acne. When I turned 30, 31, something like that. You know what, now that I think about it, all of this happened around the same time. My allergies started flaring up really bad and my acne appeared around the same time. I all of a sudden started dealing with adult acne. Well, it was a little bit of a difference, but I all of a sudden started dealing with adult acne. And of course this was way before the mask. So I was fighting this acne and couldn't figure out how to stop it, couldn't figure out what was causing it. And of course they get to ask you, well, what have you changed, or what have you done this, what have you done that? And I'm like, none of this has changed. Like nothing has changed, but I was fighting it. I'm willing to bet you to this day that the reason why I all of a sudden started having adult acne was because my body was also like, it was fighting off me eating meat and dairy. And I didn't realize like all of these different things went hand in hand. I didn't know back then. Now I know now. But, and like my baby, she suffers with acne in the same places that I had it in her cheeks or whatever. And we've kind of gotten hers under control because I know more now than I knew back then. But it's been a struggle. Like it was a struggle with me. I was embarrassed to walk around with all of those marks that I was getting on my cheeks or whatever from acne. Now we're all kind of battling it from the mask or whatever, and that's a whole different thing. When we stop wearing the mask, then I guess the acne will stop. I won't have to battle it anymore. But my skin was perfectly fine until the mask came along. But acne, so if you have trouble with acne that does not have anything to do with maskne, then I try to give up meat and dairy and see if that helps you trying to kind of combat the acne that you probably have been dealing with. Number 6. Number 6 is probably one of the biggest things that I have dealt with, or the biggest positives, I guess you could say, as a woman that I have seen come out of me not eating meat and dairy, and that is my bodily fluids changed. And I know you're probably like, what? Yes, my bodily fluids changed. All of those other things, of course, were great when they stopped. I was excited. I noticed the change in all of those things. But as a woman, and a grown woman, we have a lot of things going on. We sweat. We have a monthly cycle. We have daily discharge. We have all of these different bodily fluids that we have to deal with. So guys, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but maybe you can tell this piece to your girlfriend, wife, female friend, whoever, because it could possibly help them. But like, we have all of these different things. Our bodies deal with so many different things throughout the month, and we have to make sure that we are together all the time. We have to make sure we smell nice all the time. We have to make sure nothing that we've eaten or drinking is throwing anything off in our bodies. Like, we are constantly having to make sure that we are at the top of our A game all the time, because every little thing can throw everything off in our bodies. It can be exhausting sometimes, especially if you don't know, or if you're not aware, if you don't know what's causing it, or if you don't know what can stop it, what can change it, what can make it better. It can be exhausting. So I'm here to tell you to check your diet. Check it, check it, check it. If you are having any of these problems, it's your diet. If you're having bad smells, if you're having anything like that, think of it this way: whatever goes in is gonna come out. So if it's not coming out through your pores, if it's not coming out, there, it's gonna come out one way or the other. So if you want your bodily fluids, the way you smell to change, even the way you taste to change, and I am so serious about this, change your diet. Eating meat and drinking dairy is not going to get you to where you want to get to. I don't care how much freaking fruit you eat. It's not going to change you to where you want it to be if you're still consuming those different things. My bodily fluids have completely changed. They are, like I said in one of my previous videos, they're really consistent. I know what I'm going to smell like. I know what I'm going to taste like. I know all of those different things are going to be the same because of how my diet is. And it's all going to be good. Everything smells good. My sweat, no scent. Like, nothing has a scent, pretty much. Let's just say. If something does have a scent, if I go to the bathroom, I can pinpoint what caused it. Like, for instance, we all know by now, asparagus changes the smell of your urine. We'll go light. Asparagus changes the smell of your urine. Okay, my camera died, but I don't know if you guys know. I'm sure most people by now know how asparagus can change the smell of your urine. So your urine. So that's what I mean by, like, certain things you can pinpoint what has changed your bodily fluid. So of course I pay attention to what I put in my body. So if something changes, then I know what caused it. And depending on what the change is, I'm like, oh, I'm not eating that anymore, or something like that. But asparagus, I mean, even though it changes the smell of your urine, who cares? I don't care. I feel it's good, and I know it's a green, so it doesn't bother me. I just don't know why it changes it like it does, but I know exactly when it changes, and I know why, because of what I have eaten. That's what I mean by keeping up with what you eat and being aware of when it changes, because some things may not agree with your body or your bodily fluids. And for us women, we have to be more aware of the things that we eat. We need to eat a lot of things. That was the last. I'm going to kind of put these two together. That's the last thing on my list, is increase your good bacteria in your gut. Your gut changes. Oh my God. Good bacteria and bad bacteria in your gut changes everything. If you are eating all of these different things, or things that we shouldn't be eating, and it changes your gut bacteria, if you have more bad bacteria that has taken over your good bacteria, trust me, you're gonna know. Too much bad bacteria in that area, like, causes BV and all of those different things. So if you have too much bad bacteria in that area, you're gonna know, because it's gonna change the way, it'll change your digestion, and it'll also change the way you smell. So that's what I mean by we have to be more conscious of what we take in as far as food goes, because all of it does not agree with our bodies. We literally can't just be out there eating whatever because we like it. Some women, more so than others, know for sure the things that changes their bodies or whatever, and they know, like, okay, I can't eat that because that messes me up. Some women claim that they've been lucky enough to not have to deal with any of it. Yay for you. Now, mind you, me changing my diet or whatever, it kind of went along with everything I wanted to do with my fitness journey. It wasn't until after I changed it that I started to notice all of the different benefits that I was reaping from changing my diet. When I realized that it completely changed the way I smelled body-wise and my bodily fluids, I was like, oh, I will never go back to eating meat. And when I realized eating dairy and drinking dairy, when I realized my energy changed, when I realized my digestion changed, all of those different things change. All of my bodily fluids change when it goes from not even having a scent, like all of my bodily fluids. It's like the craziest thing. And then to top it off, drinking the chlorophyll just made all of it even better. And I see that chlorophyll has been blown up through TikTok, and I want people to really think about, like, you can drink that and maybe it'll work for some people, but I just don't see just drinking that. And then I'm a very, very big advocate on, if you drink or eat these things, they're not just going to be some kind of miracle drug that's going to change the way your body responds to everything else that you're putting in it. So you can't have this trash diet and you're eating and drinking all of this trash and then think that you're just going to have this miracle drug or chlorophyll or whatever else fruit that's just going to take over everything else over here that you're eating and drinking. It does not work that way. These things have worked for me because of my diet. My diet follows. So I can say I drink chlorophyll and it contributed to me not having a smell. It contributed to like everything, like an internal deodorizer, because of all of the fruits and vegetables and all of these different things that I already eat along with it. Smells go right along with that. Taste go right along with that. You can't expect to have this trash diet and all of a sudden say, oh, I'm gonna eat this pineapple right here, and then everything about your diet is like non-existent because you decided to eat pineapple once a day. It does not work like that. Our bodies do not work like that. I'm sorry, and I hate that people are putting it out there making it seem like that's how it works, because it doesn't. It does not work like that. But I'll end up on a rant. So, but this is all that I was gonna put in this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right there. So for those of you guys that wanted to see this video, I hope these details helped you. If it wasn't enough, you can inbox me personally on my social medias and we can have a conversation about it. But that's all that I'm going to put in this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Before you leave, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to always be putting out information like this as long as I have breath in my body. But yeah, make sure you like this video, leave me a comment, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bells so that you don't miss any of my uploads. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.